Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I'm back for day number 9 of the March Madness Sketch Challenge Scrap Now, Sleep Later. And this is the sketch that we're going to be using. It's a page map sketch. And I'm going to be using Hello Summer again. Surprise, surprise. I think I actually have one more layout that I'm going to be doing with this and that I've already done. So there's more to come with this collection. These photos are of when my nephew and some of the past foster kids were playing outside in the water hose. So they're like drinking the water, spraying each other with the water. Not the best photos, so I thought this sketch was perfect since I was able to kind of cut down some of the photos to a much smaller size and then kind of really focus on the two of what I think are the best photos on the left-hand side. So the one that's on the far left is Eli drinking water out of the water hose. And then the other one on the left-hand side is one of the foster kids spraying the other kid with the water hose. And I just was able to catch it perfectly with a huge smile on his face as he's being sprayed with the water and then the actual water coming out of the water hose. They had a blast, that's for sure. And just so you know, these photos are taken October 24th. When I say that we live in Florida and we are in the water all year long, it is true. Like, I went to do this and I was like, oh, I'm going to do the Hello Summer collection, and because obviously these must be during the summer. And then when I pulled the date, I was like, oh, I guess I really can't do summer things for this particular layout. So I had to like rethink some of the embellishment. But I thought it was pretty interesting that these photos were taken in October, right before Halloween, and our kids are out in their swim trunks playing in the water. All right, now that I went on and on about my photos, let's get back to the layout itself. I went ahead and put down that orange piece as kind of that big piece across the center. I also did cut down the polka dot paper. I don't know why. I have no idea. I have a ton of this paper. This collection is super, super old. I just went and looked it up. It is from 2012. This collection is 12 years old, and I still feel the need to save the paper. So I cut the polka dotted paper down. You're not going to see it. Why does it need to be there? But I digress. Let's get back to the layout. Over on the far right hand side, I used the 6x6 paper pad that I had as well, and I cut down 3 squares to use on the right hand side. And I was going to add an additional photo, but I didn't like the way the photo just like sat there by itself. So I found a 3x4 card that I went ahead and cut down to a 3x3 that I felt like I could cut down, because most of the cards in this collection had like borders around all the sides, so it made it look weird. But I ended up adding that card, and then at first I thought I was going to put the photo on that card, but I didn't like the way that looked. So the photos that are down and the paper are 3x3, and then that photo that I cut down just a little bit and put up on fun foam is a 2.5x2.5. So as I am getting this paper down, I do want to remind you to go check out the Scrap Now, Sleep Later Facebook group. Veronica is putting on an amazing challenge this month. You have the opportunity to be entered into lots of drawings. She's doing a daily drawing, she's doing a weekly drawing, and then she has a large prize at the very end of the month as well. All the details are posted below, so make sure you go check out her Facebook page as well. And then, of course, if you are local to the Central Florida area, or if you want to travel to the Central Florida area, Veronica does put on crops on a pretty regular basis, and I do attend a couple of them, so you might even have an opportunity to crop with me. So I have all of the paper background pieces down. I go ahead and use a chipboard piece of a big bird. These photos have nothing to do with a bird, but I thought it was cute and it fit in that square. And then over on the far left hand side, I used that gigantic tree and the same blue bird on a tree branch. I love Echo Park, and it has some really cute collections, but seriously, with this huge embellishment pieces, they're great for scene making, and that's what I end up doing. I make that big old tree over there, the branch, and then I add a cloud and a sun, end up adding a couple of flowers down at the bottom. Definitely not a fancy scene like Nicole does over at Collie Bean, but it's my nod to her in the sense that it's a little scene. It's what I can do, because I am not a scene builder at all. She is fantastic at it. And I got to use up those super large tree and branch with the bird on it. I also tried to add like a third flower over there, but it just didn't work, so I negated that altogether. I ended up putting this birdhouse, since I was going with the bird theme, over on the far right hand side, and I like the way that that kind of closed off that red paper there. And then I did add a butterfly on top of the birdhouse, and I did put that up on fun foam. I used some liquid adhesive on the back of my bird chipboard to make sure that it would stay down. And I did put my big tree up on fun foam, so it is sitting up a little bit from those flowers. The sticker sheet also had this like banner, and the sketch kind of called for a banner like across the whole thing. I didn't add the banner across the whole, I just kind of put it on the right hand side since I had that big bird on the left, but I like the way that that looks with it up on fun foam. I did go ahead and ink all of the edges in, I believe it is Mermaid Lagoon, which I think is what I use in all of the layouts that I do with this collection. I found this sticker that says Carefree, which is absolutely what these kids are in this photo. And then I found this like tree border piece, and I added that to the bottom since I had that little birdhouse. It made it kind of look like grass underneath the birdhouse. And I was gonna maybe add another little scene there, but that doesn't end up working out. Up there at the top, I add a little tag that says, "This is the life," which again is just such an amazing thing for kids at that age to be playing in the water hose. The circle tag that I add over on the far right hand side, I do put that up on fun foam. It says, "I was made for sunny days." It does say summertime on it all around the circle, but I'm just going to go with it even though it's in October. My title is going to be Splash Zone. So I use these white foam stickers that have glitter on it and these super, super glittery blue stickers. Now, I know that that is spelled wrong. However, if I could go back to me in this moment at this time and say, please do not use that liquid adhesive on those words because it's spelled wrong, I would absolutely go back in time and do that, but I don't have the ability to. So you're going to watch me struggle in just a minute. After I put all of the layouts, everything down, I have my brads that came with this collection, added that to the little title cluster there, added some brads over on the far left hand side. I end up adding some enamel shapes to everything, and then right now Abby and I are both working through these March Madness together, so we're sending each other pictures, and I took a picture of it and sent it to her, and the minute I hit send I realized that splash is spelled wrong. So I have to sit back down because it was like probably, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night. I was like, I gotta sit back down and figure this out. So I used my spatula tool. I tried to pull it up and it got stuck because I had used liquid adhesive. I will tell you that Nuvo liquid adhesive is a really good adhesive. Don't ever try to pull this stuff up because it's not gonna work. What I decided to do was I'm just gonna use my X-Acto knife, pull the pictures up a little bit, cut the orange strip, and add another orange piece here. I had this orange, I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut it down, add it back down. I'm doing well here. And I'm like, oh, it's too big, so I'm gonna cut it. Not paying attention to the fact that the orange piece doesn't line up to the polka dotted piece. It goes higher. So I have it adhered down, and then I'm like, why is there this big gap between that orange piece and the blue tag that I added? Because that wasn't there before. And I lined the paper up and realized it's not the same size. So I have to pull it up. But then I don't have any other orange pieces to put back down because I had cut down the last piece of orange that I had. So I was like, I'm just gonna have a line of paper. Like I'm at this point, I don't have any other thoughts. I have accepted the fact that every single layout that I do is going to have mistakes on it. I'm probably the only person that's going to notice. I do a very good job of covering up that line, but if you look very closely in this layout, it is very obvious that there are two pieces of paper there. And then, of course, I tore the paper too, trying to pull it up. But again, happy accidents. That's what I'm going with. I'm putting all the other pieces back down. Oh, I also broke the H when I was pulling it up, trying to put the liquid adhesive on it. That one you can't tell though, which I'm okay with. All right, I get all of my pieces back down and use my liquid adhesive, making sure that everything is spelled correctly. I do end up moving some of the pieces around, one, because splash is spelled correctly, so there's an extra letter in there, so it makes the title longer. So not everything would have fit over there on the left where it was before. And then 2, I was also trying to cover up where I had tore the paper or where that line was. Here is my final layout as well as some close-ups. If you enjoyed this craziness of a video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. Make sure you go check out the March Madness Facebook group over on the Scrap Now, Sleep Later. You have the opportunity to enter in for a chance to win a daily prize, a weekly prize, and a monthly grand prize. So I hope that you join us in on this March Madness, because it's definitely madness. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.